I'm going to say what really I don't hear a lot of people saying about Arne Slot in his first 40 days, and that is that Arne Slot has been absolutely brilliant for Liverpool. He has looked like amazing, okay? Because this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to build an excellent Liverpool-based YouTube channel across the globe. And please get your comments in below as we discuss Arne Slot's first 40 days. Now, let's rewind. If we rewind to August 16th, right? The day before we faced Ipswich for Arne Slot's first official game. And maybe even further back, before our preseason tour, when we just didn't know, anything about what Arne Slot was going to do with this team. Think about all the question marks, right? Like, there's always going to be question marks no matter who you bring in as your new manager. After Jurgen Klopp left, it was always going to be a difficult position to fill, no matter who it is, no matter if it was the special one, God forbid, or if it was somebody like an Ancelotti, somebody who had, rich history at the biggest clubs. Coming into a team like Liverpool is still a massive, massive undertaking. But Arne Slot comes in, lots of question marks around how he was going to use the team. Who did he want to replace? Who was he going to buy? Well, turns out he didn't, he wanted to make signings, I think. But he brought in one signing, Federico Chiesa, and we start the game against Ipswich with really a team that looks like it was straight out of last season, which is not a bad thing at all. And we come out in that first 45 minutes of the Slot regime, and we look flat, and we look disjointed, and it looked predictable. And I remember kind of thinking like, oof, is this what it's going to be like under Arne Slot? This is not good. And then the second half rolls around and it was like, what? Oh, whoa. Okay. Slot ball, slot machine. Well, this is fun. And we cruise to a 2-0 win at Ipswich Town, which is a tricky game, a tricky place to play. They hadn't lost there in over 365 calendar days. Then we go on to Brentford, right? Because it's like, oh, Ipswich, newly promoted. Of course, we should be beating them. No surprises there. Yes, got it. Okay, Brentford. Brentford at home. Again, should be beating Brentford at home. The Bees, yes, we should be winning. And we did. 2-0, pretty comfortable. And then it was off to Old Trafford. And this was, for me, I predicted before the beginning of the season that this would be a draw. And we go into Old Trafford and we embarrass Manchester United. We embarrass Erik ten Hag, 3-0. It was a disaster for them. And Arne Slot goes into Old Trafford where we had struggled all of last season. We had struggled against this poor United team to score, and we go in and we score 3 at Old Trafford. It was beautiful. Okay, so we're 3 games in, 3 wins for Slot, and still, we were still tempering our expectations and saying like, hey, we haven't really played anyone. We haven't really faced a test yet. We haven't seen the team go through some adversity. And then came Forest at home, a game which I think all of us probably thought like, okay, Nottingham Forest at Anfield, definitely going to win that one. And we lose 0 goals, 0-1, 1-0. And we couldn't score against Forest, even in front of the Kop. And that was very disappointing. And so then it was, okay, now Slot has lost his first game. He is human. He is able to lose, which we all knew was going to happen eventually. How does he respond? And probably then came the biggest test of the season up to that point, and so far, in going to Italy to play AC Milan. Now, AC Milan is not going to win the Champions League this year. They're probably not even going to win a domestic title in Italy. They're not the AC Milan of old, I'll say that. Okay? They could pull it together. But we go in there, we concede in the first 2 minutes to the American Pulisic, and then we proceed to dismantle them in, pizza land, and we cook them al dente. Okay, those noodles were soft, and Liverpool come out of there with a 3-1 victory in Slot's first Champions League game with Liverpool, and that was the response we all needed to see. Now, we come back home, back to the Premier League. What happens next? It's a 3-0 win to Bournemouth. It's a game where it was comfortable. We probably got a little too lax after we went 3-0 up in the first half. But again, it's a comfortable win in the Premier League. We haven't had a whole lot of those, okay? We haven't had a lot of those over the years. And then it's Carabao Cup time. And it was a big question mark, a couple days ago of like, okay, is Slot going to roll out his preferred 11 for every single game? He can't keep doing that. What's he going to do? And Arne Slot rolled out his completely changed, fully second unit team, except for Diogo Jota, who didn't play the game before. And so he rolls out this completely different starting 11. And again, we go down 1-0 on a really scrappy goal that was lame, an own goal for Kwanzaa. But we score 5 against a Premier League team. And we had basically one starter in the game. This was a completely different starting 11, and I've done a video or two about how Liverpool kind of has 2 really good starting 11 units, and this was the second one. And we just put up 5 goals against West Ham, a team that really came out full strength and wanted to win that game because that's kind of all they have. They're not in the Champions League. They're not in the Europa League. West Ham wanted that, right? They wanted that win. They came out and they wanted it. They probably needed it more than Liverpool did. And yet we score 5. And so look at this. Look at this bouquet of results for Arne Slot in his first 40 days. This is nothing short of incredible. Think about all of the new managers that we have witnessed over the last 20 to 30 years at Liverpool. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen at any club. New managers come in. It takes time to embed their playing style. It takes time for them to build up a new squad that they want. Arne Slot has come in and he has said, I'm going to take exactly the same players that I've had here, that have been here. We do not need to go out and completely reshape this team. In fact, we don't need to reshape it at all. I'm going to take the core 22 players, and I'm going to add one. I'm going to add one little Italian, some Italian flair in there. And we're going to go out and we're going to win 6 out of the first 7 matches that we play. That is incredible, guys. That is incredible. It's nothing short of amazing. Arne Slot has come in and he has done everything that Liverpool fans would want. He has come in and basically shown that there's not going to be this gap. There's not going to be this quality gap where we need a whole year. Let him come in. It's going to be a rough first year. We'll probably get, hey, let's get top 4. I'm not saying we're going to win the Premier League, guys. I'm not going to say that we're going to win all these cups, these trophies. But through the first 40 days, this has been an absolute success. Now, we have yet to face Arsenal. We've yet to face Villa. We've yet to face City. And we've yet to face, the best teams in Europe. I get that. But I will make this point once again. You look at City, Manchester City last season. They were the champions of England. Who did they beat? Dude, they didn't beat Arsenal. They didn't beat Liverpool. You don't have to beat the best teams in England to win the Premier League. You have to beat all the other teams, okay? You need to beat the other 16 teams in the Premier League if you want to be champions. It's those games against Forest. It's the games against Bournemouth. It's the games against Manchester United. Even the games against Chelsea. Those are the games you have to win, okay, to win the Premier League. It's not a tournament. It's a marathon across 38 games. So, guys, all I'm saying is I am thrilled with the first 40 days of Arne Slot, and I hope you are too. Get your comments in below. Let me know what you think of Slot's first 40 days and how you think the next 40 will shape up, because the next 40 are going to be much more difficult than the first 40. And I want to acknowledge that. I'm not saying that Arne Slot is going to be this incredible, amazing, best of all time GOAT manager for Liverpool. But I will say I am thrilled with the first 40, and I can't wait to see what he's able to do against some of the best teams in Europe in the next 40 days. So get your comments in below. And we look forward to this weekend's contest against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Another tough test in the Premier League for Arne Slot and his men, but I fully expect him to handle the business.
Yeah, of course.